The open world games are getting humongous every year, which means bigger maps, more exploration, and even more in-game traveling. And unless a game is so linear that players can only either move forward or backward, or unless a game's map is a small one that players have played so much that they can now navigate the in-game locations like their own neighborhood, finding your way in a huge open world without any pointers can get very confusing. And this is where the minimap and the waypoints come for the rescue. You mark a point on the map and then the minimap guides you how to reach there. Easy. But how do you make this navigation system more immersive that adds to the player's experience and not leave it to be something that instead takes from the experience and starts to feel like a chore? You see, the game is happening here and not here. The minimap exists only to help the player get a little more information about all that really exists in this big gameplay area here. But then why is the player being forced to look at the minimap more often than the actual gameplay area when traveling and navigating the open world? And this is really where Mafia Definitive Edition did a really great job in merging the game's navigation system with the game's environment to deliver a much more immersive experience that does not feel like a chore, but much more like a natural experience in the real world. You also do not find this navigation system in the original Mafia game that delivers the same look at the minimap to navigate experience, like many other newer games such as Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead's world is huge, and there is no way you are going to find your way around without waypoints in that game, which leads to a drawback in the experience when the players may want to look around and appreciate its beautiful environment while traveling, say from one town to another, but they would instead be forced to look at the minimap more often to keep making sure they are on the right track. Sometimes when in a hurry in a game, this is really what my navigation experience looks like. Because instead of looking at the actual gameplay area, my eyes are fixated on the small minimap almost until I finally reach the marked location. Definitely, other games have come up with good solutions too. Like in Ubisoft's Far Cry 5, blue tracks on the road help guide you navigate to your marked location, which is pretty immersive too. It doesn't make you frequently look away from its world at a minimap to learn about where to turn next. But in my personal opinion, Mafia's remake did it the best. You are driving around in a developing city, and what better way than to put navigational road signs blending with the game's environment to subtly and uninterruptedly guide the player to the final location. This clever navigation system not only removes the need of having to look at the minimap every few seconds when traveling in-game to a specific location, but it also renders the in-game traveling experience much more immersive when you are actually focused in the game's world and are further noticing its environment to maneuver about it. It's good to see developers working on small game mechanics like these that definitely add a lot to the player's experience. Navigational road signs may not work for all open world games out there, but it does set a good example of how to embrace your game's environment and setting to deliver immersive experiences to your players, even if it's just creatively telling them where to turn next. And that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. Consider subscribing for similar video essays on game design. I am Tushar. Thank you for watching.